Number 7. Chrysler LeBaron Convertible, 1990 to 1994. The Chrysler LeBaron Convertible was sold on the appeal of affordable open-air motoring, front-wheel drive, available as 4-cylinder or V6, priced to reach buyers who had always wanted a convertible, but not the cost of one. The ownership experience introduced complications the showroom visit had not prepared buyers for. The convertible top mechanism attracted consistent complaints, motor failures and fabric deterioration ahead of what owners considered reasonable were documented across the production run. The automatic transmission developed failure patterns that dealers saw regularly. The electrical system accumulated faults involving power accessories that proved difficult to resolve conclusively. Build quality fell short of what the price implied, with interior materials that degraded noticeably within a few ownership years. Buyers who wanted a strictly fair-weather car and maintained it carefully could manage well enough. For anyone who drove one through the full range of conditions a daily car encounters, the gap between the appeal of the concept and the reliability of the execution was difficult to overlook. Number 5. Chrysler Cirrus, 1995 to 2000. The Chrysler Cirrus was positioned as a step above entry-level. Cab-forward styling, a modern interior, and engine options suggesting a more serious mid-size attempt. The showroom impression was genuinely promising. The ownership record was considerably less so. The automatic transmission became a frequent source of owner complaints, often at mileages buyers did not consider acceptable. The 2.4-liter 4-cylinder developed head gasket complaints that became a recurring frustration for owners. Electrical faults affected instrument clusters and power accessories in ways dealers found difficult to resolve permanently. Air conditioning failures were a recurring complaint. Consumer Reports rated the Cirrus below average for reliability for multiple production years. To be fair, not every Cirrus delivered the worst ownership experience, and the styling had genuine ambition for its era. But that was exactly the problem. Chrysler sold buyers a glimpse of the future, then handed many of them a car that felt far less finished than it looked. Number 5. Chevrolet Cavalier, 1995 to 2002. There is no dramatic story here, no single catastrophic failure, no recalled component, no safety scandal. The Chevrolet Cavalier's place on this list is earned through something more persistent, a decade of consistent mediocrity delivered to buyers who trusted the most recognizable brand in American automotive history. The Cavalier was among the best-selling cars in America throughout most of the 1990s. Consumer Reports rated it below average for reliability in nearly every year it tracked the model. J.D. Power surveys reflected similar assessments. Complaints spread across build quality, powertrain consistency, and the impression of a car less substantial than competition at the same price. To be fair, millions of buyers used them without serious incident, but the Cavalier was not one of the decade's worst cars because it failed spectacularly. It was one of the worst because it under-delivered, year after year, to millions of people who expected Chevrolet, one of the most trusted names in American automotive history, to do better.
Number 4. Cadillac Catera, 1997 to 2001. Some cars fail because they break. Others fail because they were never honest about what they were. The Catera belongs firmly in the second category. The Catera was a rebadged Opel Omega, a competent German executive car, sold as a Cadillac to buyers who expected a Cadillac. The strategy was commercially understandable. Cadillac needed a smaller, more modern entry-level product. What arrived disappointed buyers who came for American luxury and found German engineering wrapped in an unfamiliar and unreliable package. The 3-liter V6 developed a reputation for expensive mechanical trouble, while electrical faults became a consistent part of the ownership story. But the deeper problem was simpler. Cadillac buyers came expecting comfort, familiarity, and confidence, and got a car that too often felt foreign in all the wrong ways. The Catera was not just unreliable enough to frustrate buyers, it was mismatched enough to confuse them, and for a Cadillac, that may have been even more damaging. Number 3. Land Rover Discovery Series 1, 1994 to 1998. If you've never owned a first-generation Land Rover Discovery, the reputation may sound exaggerated. If you have, it probably doesn't sound exaggerated enough. The Discovery arrived in the American market in 1994 with genuine off-road credentials, a ladder-frame chassis, permanent four-wheel drive, and a heritage difficult to argue with. What it also arrived with was an electrical system and build quality standard that the American market, accustomed to improving reliability, was not prepared to tolerate. Electrical faults appeared with a frequency owners found difficult to rationalize at this price point. The 3.0-liter V6 had known tendencies toward head gasket failure, expensive enough to address. Dealer service quality varied, and parts support for a relatively low-volume British import could not always meet the timelines daily use required. To be fair, the Discovery had genuine capability in the environments it was designed for, and owners who maintained them carefully could achieve reasonable reliability. The buyers who purchased them expecting the ownership experience of a mainstream SUV were regularly disappointed. Number 2. Dodge Neon, 1995 to 1999. The Dodge Neon arrived in 1995 with something American compacts had been missing: personality. The styling was genuinely different, the price was competitive, and Chrysler's marketing created real enthusiasm around a car meant to prove the domestic industry could build small cars worth caring about. The head gasket failure pattern that emerged across early production years significantly complicated that narrative. The 2.0-liter four-cylinder developed a documented tendency toward head gasket failure, widespread enough to generate substantial owner complaints, class action legal attention, and repair costs that many owners considered unacceptable on a car still within reasonable age and mileage. Chrysler's response evolved over time, but early Neon owners absorbed the cost of a problem that should have been identified before the car went on sale. To be fair, not every Neon experienced this failure, and later production years improved the situation, but the pattern was consistent and documented enough that the early Neon's reputation suffered in ways its genuine strengths could not overcome.
Number 1. Ford Explorer, 1991 to 2001. Every car on this list disappointed buyers in some way. The Ford Explorer stands above the rest because its failure became one of the most consequential automotive safety stories of the 1990s, not just for what happened, but for how long warning signs existed before the full public reckoning arrived. The Explorer was the best-selling SUV in America for most of the 1990s. The safety issue that emerged publicly around 2000 and 2001 centered on Firestone tires fitted to the Explorer experiencing tread separation, which, in combination with the Explorer's handling characteristics, contributed to rollover accidents resulting in deaths and serious injuries. NHTSA investigations documented hundreds of fatalities linked to the issue. Congressional hearings followed. Ford and Firestone each attributed primary responsibility to the other's product, a dispute that produced extensive documentation of what each company knew and when. The Explorer's commercial success made the scale of the problem proportionally larger. That gap between how many people trusted the vehicle and what the safety record eventually showed is what places it at the top of this list.